Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be building a rat. Let's see what kind of wood I have to work with. That is Waccamaw River Cypress, and we'll break it down to make a fishing lure. I gave up on the saw. No wonder that wasn't working. Look at that. There was no way I was going to get a lure out of that. Alright, I'm exhausted, but I got a shape out of what was left over from this wood. And we're going to make a rat with it. There's my outline. Cut it out. Alright, so we've got our rodent shape, and took a little while to get us here. We're not perfectly square, but that's okay. I can deal with that and make this into something that fish will want to eat. Let's make some chamfer lines. Took the old Cutrex shark to it, and now it's looking a lot better than it was. Still needs sanding, but I like the way the shape is coming out. I think that'll be a great rat. Alright, we're sanded down to 80 grit. Looking better and better. Less peanut shaped. And we're starting to see some of that wood grain come through. The more I sand it, the prettier that wood is going to look. Keep going. Alright, we're sanded down to 120. The wood grain is really coming out now. And I decided to draw on some lines for carvings, where I want to put my lip and my joint placement, along with my tail placement. And once I make all those cuts, then I'll figure out where I want to put my hooks and my weight. I'm not going to have any weight here in the back besides the rear hook. And all my weight will be here in the center area of the front of the bait. That way I've got a good body wiggle from the 90-degree line or lip. So next thing I'll cut out are the ears and the lip. And we'll do a Lexan square shape lift for this one. Stay tuned. Hang in there with me. Alright, so when I last left you, I had cut out the ears on the rat. Told you about the lip that I was putting in. I went with a square one. I think it's a little bit long and I might trim it, but we will see. I dry fit all the hardware. This isn't glued in yet. Wanted to just put it in place. And I put the tail in. I made a corkscrew using wire and super glue and baking soda to put it in place. So the next thing I want to do is drill out weight, and I marked 2 places where I want to put holes for lead, and I also marked out where I want to put my my V joint. And to do that, I select 2 places like horizontal lines, and then draw a triangle between the 2. And when I put this in my vise, I'm going to put it at an angle, so that way I'm cutting straight down. It's not the perfect way to do this. You really should use a jig, but I don't have one. I'll probably sand those ears down a little bit more, and you can really see how that wood grain is coming out in this bait. So I think I'm going to leave most of it natural. I'm going to seal it with super glue, and that will really make that grain pop. So let's get to drilling. Time for some baking soda and super glue. So I filled up the lead holes with baking soda, and I'll hit it with my ultra thin super glue. Now that lead isn't going anywhere. Last time I shot here is a little bit brighter. My shop light is going bad on me. So it's a little darker, but we'll try to make do. Boom! Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's clean it up a little bit more with sandpaper, and we'll put it in the joint hardware. Hardware is fitted up, and we just need to seat it in there. This is a dry fit, just to see how my tail is gonna. That's not bad. I think I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit, and I can do so by twisting the front loops a little bit more, so that way they're a little bit tighter to the body. But that'll give a good wag, even if it's a little tighter. I like it. Some of you may be familiar with my special technique of putting packing tape on my finger and then rubbing super glue into a bait. The super glue does not stick to packing tape, so it's great for spreading the glue all over your wood in order to seal it. Time for clear coat. I've sanded it down to 400, and I'm gonna hit it with UV clear coat, and I'm just gonna brush it on. This is gonna bring out that wood grain and give me a real smooth surface to do paint on. I'm not going to go crazy with the paint job on this. It's just a rat. So we'll definitely do a white belly. But for the body, I'm going to leave it with that wood grain. Maybe do some hand brushing on the back. So, meet me at the UV chamber. All right, it's about 2 weeks later. I had a sinus infection, bunch of other stuff going on, and haven't worked on the rat in a little bit, but wanted to bring you up to speed. We have the whole thing with a clear coat on it, and we're going to get ready to put a little paint on. We're going to keep that wood grain look, but we're going to add some accents that'll make this really pop and look like, a pretty good looking bait when we're done. So let me flip you around, bring you to the airbrush station, aka the front deck of my boat, and put some paint on this way. Starting with white, this is Createx Opaque White. I'm not a really big fan of it, but I have such a big bottle, I gotta use it up. I have 3 drops of water and 10 drops of white in the brush. And we're going to shoot it from this angle to cover the bottom of the bait. Got a nice even coat there on the bottom. I'm also going to do the ears. Now we're going to put a little bit of lavender. This is US Art Supply. Just one drop of this. And I'm going to drop it on top of the white. And we'll mix it in there. Just a hint of pink. And here's the last step. We want some eyes and a nose. So we're going to take a Q-tip and we're going to dot them. Boom. 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 And that's all it takes. I could do some hand brushing on the belly with some gray for a natural effect. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's think about it a little bit. I ended up doing a hand paint thing on the bottom. It's not great, but it'll be alright. Time for clear coat. The things I do for a YouTube video. Floats. Do you hear that? That's a great wobble. I'm pretty happy with it. So that is the finished rat swim bait, topwater wake, and had a great action, good knock in the water, and I'm pretty happy with this one. I'm going to put it up for sale and see if anybody is wanting to buy it. What should I make next? I'd love to hear your suggestions. I've got a lot of ideas, but I want to know what you want. Till next time, remember, it only takes one cast to land a fish.